Hello everyone, welcome to Rasa Gurukul. I'm so excited to be back again, and I have my friend Octavia, joined from England. She's from the northeast of England, and it's so amazing to see how happy she feels here.
Yeah.
And she's looking very comfortable. And let's ask her how she feels about Gurukul and the changes or whatever she feels about it. Hello, Oki.
Hi, Das.
So nice to see you here after having that conversation in London, and I'm excited that you have made it to Gurukul.
I had to come and see for myself what you were doing here because it just looked amazing, but I had a feeling that I'd have to see it to actually understand.
Have we lived up to your expectations? Or?
It has far exceeded my expectations. It's incredible arriving here, and it's so tranquil and so beautiful. When you first arrive, you come up the drive, you see the flowers and the trees, and then you see the river. And when I saw the river, I felt quite overwhelmed. It's just so beautiful, and it's a very big river, so it's a very impressive river, but also a gentle river at this time of year. So,
that's exciting.
Yeah, it was.
And what do you think? I mean, how do you feel about the whole thing? I'm sure you have your own experience, or maybe questions.
It's much more tranquil here, what I would call effortlessly tranquil here than I had anticipated. I didn't really know what to expect.
That's amazing to hear that from you, because every time I talk to people about Gurukul, this is the phrase I use, effortlessness.
Yeah.
And you said it so rightly.
Yeah.
From your own experience.
Yeah.
You felt it as an effortless experience.
Yeah. And so it's very relaxing to be here. But I know that, there's actually a lot going on for you here. You're doing many things. And so I wanted to learn a bit more about that.
Obviously, it's such a pleasure, to have someone with keen interest. And I'm interested to know your observation, and if you may have any questions.
Yeah, I was wondering, so far you're known as a great provider of delicious food in the UK, but I don't think people know so much about Rasa Gurukul in India. So I was wondering, how did you come to get to this point and to make Rasa Gurukul?
Like you said, Rasa as a restaurant chain in London really brought something very special to UK. And until I came to UK, South Indian food was not known, especially complete concentration of South Indian cooking was never in any restaurant. And it was such a privilege for me to develop this Kerala-based restaurant and developing a new kind of initiative. I started a vegetarian restaurant, which was complete shock to many people.
Yes.
Nobody thought a vegetarian restaurant could become famous or successful.
Yeah.
But we made everyone feel, wrong about it.
Yeah.
And it's almost 25 years when it's 2000.
And of course, culture in the UK has changed, and there are many vegetarians and vegans now. And of course, you also have expanded your menu, haven't you? You do have meat in one of the restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as part of this, evolution in the last 25 years, you can say.
Yeah.
The concept of Rasa has took many kind of roles, because I wanted to bring about all aspects of South Indian food, where food is unique to different communities, how different a region's cook food because of the environment, what is available to regions. Then finally, after start doing about 12 restaurants, I felt there is something else that fascinates me, and more so about Indian food.
Yeah.
Its future and what India as a country can bring to the world. So I started to think more philosophical about it. And that thought developed into a dream. That's where the seeds of Gurukul was born. So it was almost 15, 16 years ago when I started to decide, understand there is a bigger reason why Rasa was born.
Yeah.
And importantly, because it happened in UK. UK to me is one of the most important places for Indian food in the world. You see more Indian restaurants in England than any other place in the world. From America, from Europe,
Yes,
everywhere people come to London.
It's very much integrated into
Part
our culture.
of the idea is to eat good Indian food.
Yes.
And people have spread that word.
Yeah.
If you want to eat Indian food, go to London.
Yeah.
So that was something which amazed me as an Indian. Then with my experience of developing a change in people with the local people in UK. For example, Stoke Newington, we literally converted the whole community
Yeah.
to an Indian lifestyle.
Yeah.
More because of Indian food, more to do with that. And I felt Indian food can go a longer way. It has more potential if we do the proper job and if you find more talented people to run it, like myself. And when I started to develop the restaurant business and I was looking for chefs, it was very hard to find really passionate people. So one reason to start this Gurukul was to develop people, to take Indian food forward, especially my fascination, which is Kerala food. Secondly, I felt Kerala has some magic, and which is about healing,
Yes.
the tranquility of the atmosphere,
Yeah.
the environment, the lush, beauty of Kerala,
Yeah.
the rivers.
It does feel very healing. It does. Yeah.
So all these combined, Kerala can become a fantastic location for someone who wants to change, their
Yeah.
personality or, I think, as a tourist, you get better out of a place when it has more to offer.
Yeah. It certainly has a lot to offer. I mean, there is a lot on offer here at Rasa Gurukul,
Yeah.
but also the feeling of Kerala.
Yeah, I mean, Rasa Gurukul, when we started this idea about 15 years ago, my initial thought was only to make a cooking school. In 15 years, the idea got, talked about many times. I started to imagine so much in my sleep, in my talks, wherever I go, I used to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I felt it's more than food. That's how, the whole culture of a village came as a backdrop or a foundation.
Yes, I was wondering how the village and the community aspect is so important for Rasa Gurukul.
That is partly because, I started to think, the food can definitely do a magic. But then people have to realize it, understand the life or the whole journey of a dish.
Yeah.
How to, tell you the story of the ingredients of food
Yeah.
and their stories.
And the preparation,
Preparations,
the
whole
traditional preparation that you
correct.
have here.
The whole process of imagination and efforts people make. So many people. It's not just the chef. It's about the farm, it's about the people in the farm, it's about communities who work together. A village, because India has strong roots in their villages, and most of India works around its rural population.
Yeah.
Most of it is very poor, most of it is agricultural, and what people produce in the field is still a big part of our GDP. So it's important that we encourage those people, and their work is equally important today, as much as we see the rise of technology and the modern life. You still need environment, you need the nature to provide us with a convenient and comfortable kind of atmosphere.
Yes.
So for that you need farmers.
And so far since I've been here, I've seen that on the farm you've got production of the cooking pots that you use in
Yes.
bronze, and
Yeah.
the big water jugs and things. And you've also got a blacksmith's
Yes.
area where you're, what are you making there?
All these things, elements are part of a village.
Yeah.
And a village consists of so many things which are connected.
Yeah.
So, it was part of a self-sufficiency of the village to have this coconut mill where we make
where you make the
bull-ridden mill. We have this coconut oil making.
Yes.
Then you saw this wonderful lady, Sunita, who makes the virgin coconut oil.
Yeah.
And we have a blacksmith, which is used for making all our sharp tools for the farm.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have the bronzesmith who creates the cooking vessels,
Yeah.
which is again a big part of ancient India,
Yeah.
where we use metals for preparation,
Yes.
like strong metals like bronze.
Yeah.
And our Ayurvedic physicians say that metal is good for your cooking.
Yes.
The metal element adds a special flavor to your dish.
Yeah.
Then we have this pottery art where we make lots of even your water jugs, glasses.
Yes.
We make lots of things out of the pottery division of the place.
Yeah.
We're just starting a weaving unit
Yeah.
where we will weave our own tops, so that everybody who comes to the Gurukul,
Yeah.
they could all wear exactly the same kind of tops.
Yeah.
And it could be something that you feel part of,
Yeah.
because you can go and join them, the artisans, when they make it. Any of these things.
Yeah. And of course you've also got the socialising aspect where you've got the tea shop.
Yes.
Uh,
Tea shop is another brilliant, you saw the old building in the front of the Gurukul,
Yes.
the property. That was kind of recreating the old tea shop my grandfather had. Then taking the idea forward, healing the tea shop industry, because tea shops had tremendous history in Kerala. Tea shop culture is so old, so amazing. People used to love to go to tea shops just to sit around, chat. From very early in the morning, like 5:30 onwards, all
Yeah.
through the day, they sit around tea shops and communicate. They talk about the news, national and international.
yeah.
And it was a place of comfort. And I learned a lot watching my grandfather's tea shop. Here today, as you know, the fast food has spread all across the world. Even in Kerala, people eat a lot of junk food,
Yeah.
and many restaurants don't serve quality food. And it's important that we should heal that process, because more and more people eat outside.
So one of the things that you're doing and planning here is really to bring back those parts of society that have been lost,
Yeah.
in order to make people feel more whole and more happy again, in a way.
Yes, because I think the technology and science and new found economy has changed countries like India a great deal. we have the biggest loss is our family values. Now we are not completely out of it, but I think we are becoming very Western in our lifestyle. Then the culture has a big impact as well, because we have the young population not connected with the old culture or family values and traditions. So I felt it's important that we should get it back
Yeah.
before we are completely out of it,
Yeah.
before we lose it completely. And I found the faith system as a whole, whether in culture, religions, even family, to bring everything back, you need to have a kind of basic faith system reinstated. At the moment, we are not understanding it because all changes are rapid. Our young community has fast changed to a new modern lifestyle, which is so different from what India used to be. And I think children are our potential hope, because country like India is still young. We have more than 65% of our population are young, and they are under 35. And I think if we are able to bring them back to a kind of harmony of culture, as much as they fly away with a new lifestyle.
Yeah. And are you reaching those parts of the population here? Are you reaching out to children and young people?
We are making our effort. We are still very new to this concept, very new to this country. Because my experience from UK and what I learned by running a business, and as an Indian, who I felt was reborn in England, and bringing that new energy to inspire my community. I'm trying my best. I can't tell you it's easy. I can't tell you we have done enough, but I think it's still early to predict it. It's an important change which should happen in our country and every country in the world. Like what we have learned, as much as you improvise in life, you need to have a foundation of comfort, and especially, I believe, a mother's love, which is a big part of my driving force.
Yes, because you've talked about your mother to me quite a lot, and she's obviously a great influence.
Yes, my mother, like every mother in India or in the world, they make a huge impact in our life. In Kerala in particular, during my childhood, we had a very intense relationship, because we used to live in joint families, and our mothers had so much interest in bringing the whole family and looking after every child equal to hers.
Yeah.
And making food for everyone. And I found a mother's route to reach her children was always food.
Yeah.
Making delicious food, surprising flavors every time. And I also felt, that is part of India's bigger philosophy. What India believes is about universal happiness, with the definition of mother's love as its representation.
And so really your idea is to bring that love to this project.
Yes. Yeah, I think as part of globalized society, we have all learned the communities have very similar looking lifestyle everywhere. What you see in London, you can see in Cochin now.
Yeah.
What you see in Cochin, you can see in New York and in many other countries. So likewise, our problems have also become very similar. So having observed and experienced people's lives as part of promoting food in England, I understood many people carry so much pain and baggage of past life, the frictions and tensions of a challenging future. So people live half in past and half in future, and many of those people miss present. So present is all what we have, which is a truth we all learn to understand.
Yeah.
But many people don't have that route to understand or learn this.
Yeah.
That's why I felt a mother's love is one of the easiest to experience. So when you say mother's love, you may wonder, how can a mother heal the whole world? So what I realized was mother's love is something that anybody can develop, as long as you can manifest that feelings and passion.
So I was wondering how the local community felt about Rasa Gurukul. Do they understand what you're aiming to do and how you want to reach out to all of these different groups?
That's a very interesting question, because this project is quite unusual, as you may have figured out.
It's quite hard to explain,
Correct.
isn't it, what you're
and
doing?
also, in a world where, I'm not just talking about Kerala or India, the world as a whole revolves around businesses, or anything you do today has some impact for money, or more interest about making something out of it
Yeah.
in kind of profit. Profit is the motive behind many projects. And I believe even the startups where young people are trying very hard to prove themselves, where people want to be successful. There are a lot of challenges people face in this world. As youngsters, they want to come up, make their life worth. Success is the key to everybody's life. So most of the projects like this or any other project, the first interest is to make a business so that they can make a profit. They can maybe expand in multiple locations. But I had a completely different thought. I didn't come here to start a business. I didn't even come to make a change in Kerala. But my interest and initiative was to change the world. I believe the world is ready for a change. We are passing through a very difficult time in this universe,
Yeah.
all over the world. Somebody has to initiate the change. And I felt money was an obstacle. Money was one of the main culprits of the chaos you find in this world. Whether you look at different countries, different communities, different religions, everywhere, a money turned idea or interest or desire that has changed
Yeah.
people and countries and communities. And I think that a business that has a kind of thought process behind money
Yeah.
is not going to make any big difference to anyone. People think that if there is more profit, you can inspire or motivate youngsters. Actually, that is wrong. One thing, there is a new young population in the world. They are very different from the past generation. So to me, my principal idea was to initiate this project so that I can develop a kind of model institution which maybe where the world can take over to expand in many other parts of India
Yeah.
or
And the world.
and the world.
Yeah.
So when I started this initially, I think many of our local people never knew what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Many people thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Because someone lived in UK for a long time, coming here. With my father, I started a farm. It didn't make sense to many people.
Yeah.
But then later, in 15 years, as we developed all these things, wonderful things, and it shocks me as well when I look at this place now.
Yeah.
This has a complete, kind of package where if you want to experience a whole of Kerala's culture in one place,
Yes.
there's no better place than this.
Yeah.
We have put together all of its small elements
Yeah.
so that it represents every community possible. I'm sure there are more to add,
Yes.
but within our vicinity and our own personal experience, we have brought together so much. We have all these things you mentioned, animals, cows, birds,
Yeah.
all that, so that it becomes an attraction for even children. So for me, this is a very important change someone or many of us have to take forward. I'm happy that a lot of local people have recognized. I started to see a lot of like-minded people. They're coming forward with their own brilliant ideas and trying to bring together a kind of collective force.
Yes, just since I've been here, so many people have come to see you, to talk to you about what they can do to become involved.
Yeah, for me, what is, after seeing it happen in 15 years, just not easy, but I approached many people for help. Initially, like every new idea has a painful journey. And a lot of times people don't believe you because they think it's not going to make huge sums of money.
Yeah.
I remember approaching a lot of business people. I thought, like that was all part of my ignorance or, sometimes innocence. I felt, when someone has a lot of money, you suddenly feel, let's contribute something for social causes or do something that is creative so that it can make my life, worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because when you make money for yourself, you're only feeding your family and you're accumulating for an unknown future. Here, if you can contribute so much, a little bit. So I remember meeting some very rich people and telling them the story of a new world. And we become the initiative, the pioneers of that change. And many of them turned down the offer saying, oh, I don't think it's going to make money. And I said to them, thank you very much, because that's not the kind of people I want to associate with. But deep inside me, I always knew this is the most powerful change India is going to represent for the future. Because everything the world has now, every part of the world has wealth now. Education is spreading, including India. We have institutions, we have employment for people, and the metro life has got better and better. Technology is flying so high. So I felt the only thing they lack is the love, the motherhood, the support system of unconditional
Yes, sort of nurture.
community.
And that's what's happening around the world and creating such uncomfortable living situations for people and stress, the much used word.
And Rasa
stress.
Gurukul could literally bring that complete answer to the world,
Yeah.
representing India and bringing this solution to the world.
So here you've got, as far as I understand it, the possibility for people to come and enjoy all of these different aspects and learn and experience the really loving feeling
Yes.
of that lifestyle, to see how that improves living.
Yeah, I'll
But
tell you
also
my
you're helping, you're getting out into the community
correct.
and
Children.
managing to influence the next generation and put them in touch with the elderly generation and help the sort of, for instance, the women who are in their middle age, I guess,
Correct.
young to middle age, to sort of find value in themselves and to be able to sort of help each other.
Correct. We have already done a good, progress on all these elements. We have, like you mentioned, three huge areas as our focus. One is children's area, because from primary level onwards, I think children should understand about their culture,
Yeah,
the mother language,
which has been lost, sort of thing.
almost.
Yeah,
They should speak their own languages. They should have representation of a piece of their culture, because
Yeah.
we are all ambassadors of our culture.
yeah,
Everybody, like when I was traveling in UK, I felt I represent my country. It's my culture is what I'm carrying.
yes,
So today, if you send a young guy to other parts of the world, they don't represent India. They represent technology.
yeah,
They represent business. They represent knowledge coming from other countries. But what we are developing is a homegrown culture that is going to be representing our future and the global future.
yeah,
So we represent children in schools, like you said, the women, a fantastic force of talent, an unknown talent of women. That is something that we need to really talk loud. And
Can you give me any examples?
a couple of good examples within this Gurukul itself. One is the lady who makes our virgin coconut oil. The lady called Sunita from Palkad. She is a housewife. Because of her passion, she started developing this virgin coconut oil, which is like so divine in its flavor and so much goodness. It's very therapeutic. Coconut oil has been the medicine of our life for centuries in India.
Yeah,
And then in the past maybe 40 years, we have been misinformed by other parts of the world that coconut oil is not good. It was part of a corporate strategy to lessen the use of coconut oil because they wanted to promote other alternative oils.
yeah,
And they cheated our people. And now, in America itself, they have found out coconut oil is the best thing, whether in cooking medium, as a moisturizer, as
Yeah.
your, mouth freshener, in oil pulling, many things.
yeah,
Coconut oil has become the complete solution for your life. So this lady, without knowing anything, because of her traditional background and fascination for coconut oil, she started developing this. And we approached her, why don't we together make a progress? Because we want you to become successful.
yeah.
And now she has become, one nice brand in Kerala, and she's trying to develop her, company
Yeah.
bigger so that she can supply to international
Yeah.
markets.
So it's sort of the women of that age group between, say, 35
She is into
and
our
55.
kind of age group of
Yeah.
40 to 55
Yeah.
category, and
They're a sort of underused resource. That's
correct. Yeah.
your
So
idea.
plenty of women like that. You met that fashion designer,
Yes.
Anjali,
Yeah,
our own the lady of the house, Vijni, our
Yeah.
front office lady. She's a multi-talented person. She can make so many things.
yeah,
All learned from home. Now she's making it in a commercial kitchen,
yeah,
learning the art of public relations.
yeah,
So there are so many people like that. We could just, with a little help, little push, we can make them achieve the dreams of their life.
yeah,
Thinking about their old passion or desire, and then just make it happen. Because
Yes.
I think, given the right, kind of encouragement, women could be world leaders, and they have tremendous natural skills and ability to think deeper and bigger, and they have great sense of economy.
yes,
And I think, expanding their domestic skills into a bigger spectrum,
Yeah.
they could really initiate a huge change in this world.
Yeah.
Then obviously the third and the most important area of our fascination and work is about elderly.
Yes.
How we can make elderly be part of a normal community of people. How a mainstream life can be part of their life too. At the moment they are sidelined in many countries.
Yes.
In India also it's happening. People are busy and it's naturally understandable. You can't blame anyone because nobody has time. But everything has another side. There's a beautiful side which I'm trying to develop. How we can utilize and how we can make an elderly's life purposeful. Firstly, as a moral responsibility, elderly deserve the most wonderful life during their last years.
Yes.
Secondly, when they become purposeful and useful, they could make the community work better. They could sometimes earn money, but most important thing is they can make themselves productive.
Yes.
All their wisdom, accumulated wisdom, could be distributed. There's a whole lot of people looking for this beautiful, secrets these people know from their
And
life.
certainly with the fact that people are living so much longer
Yes,
in most countries, some of the people who fall into that bracket are really not that old. They've got quite a long life ahead of them.
yes.
Yeah.
But then the question is, when you have an extended life, why? Why should I live?
Yeah.
So when you look at the elderly community, I visit many of the care homes in UK. I try to spend time. Like you came with me to a center
Yes.
in Kerala. I do the same in UK. The one thing that you observe is their helplessness. Silently they're asking this question. We have an extended life thanks to science and
What is
medical.
our value?
Yeah. So whatever we have developed in this world gives us some extra time. But is it useful? Is it helping them?
Yeah.
It's a very important question we all need to ask. And most importantly, another thing is, we are all marching towards that destination.
Yeah.
We are all going to be elderly at some point. And if you look at different decades behind us, it has gone only worse. So you can imagine what will happen in 30 years' time
Yes.
unless we have a system,
Yeah.
a method, and elderly could become a big part of our society. And I also believe that when you have a purpose, you don't feel old. You don't feel the age.
And the problem is that sometimes the connection between those three groups is not
Are lost.
there. So the connection needs to be re-established.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's what we consciously try to bring. And like you earlier mentioned, without explaining this purpose, we are bringing these groups together and they become effortless here.
Yeah.
What I believe is, I believe in spiritual transformation. I believe very spiritually about being effortless. Being effortless is when you become pure and simple. You surrender to nature. You surrender to the moment. When you become mindful,
Yeah.
your body becomes easy. So at that point, you start to embrace so many nice things. You
Yeah.
become pure. It's like they say, the pure attracts only the pure. Evil attracts evil. So everybody has a plenty of purity within them. We have abundance of virtues.
Yeah.
We haven't started using it completely. So when you bring them here to this kind of open space surrounded by beautiful nature and this wonderful river behind us,
Yeah.
we could make people feel effortless and they suddenly feel the connection.
Yeah.
Just like how the birds and plants connect, how the cows and birds, chickens connect.
Yeah. And it's finding those people's special thing that they can bring to sort of society, to each other.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
to the community.
to be very simple, everybody has something to bring to this world.
Yeah.
Nobody is born by mistake. Nobody is a waste here. Everybody has something to offer. But we haven't asked for it. Nobody has appreciated someone with abundance of knowledge or wisdom. And I would love to have a bit of it.
Yeah.
It's about that initiative to offer this opportunity and let them effortlessly start bringing it. So I think it's the most important phase of our time where we start sharing our wisdom.
Yes.
Especially, the elderly, they cannot take it with them. Just like the wealth.
Yeah.
The wealth of their brains, their life, like I would say, the river of life that is following us. Finally, it all comes to like the fruit of the mango tree.
Yeah.
The world needs it.
Yeah.
And they have to be aware of releasing it. When you go be empty, you have to leave this world empty.
Yeah.
So most people don't realize this until the last breath. But my purpose is make them live happily until they die.
Yeah.
And we need them.
Yeah.
Everybody who is lying down should wake up. The whole world is looking at you.
Yeah.
And they all need what you can give. It's like, if you look at our farm, every plant is offering something. Every tree is offering some fruit. So different, diverse.
Yeah.
So we need to really definitely see that in individuals and be fascinated with that wealth of knowledge coming from each and every individual.
And as a project, it's as an idea, it's quite a huge idea because it's global, isn't it?
Yeah. Like when you say that, it can be scary as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have put on so much, responsibilities on yourself. See, my fascination or my real inspiration come from the drive for this, come from a tiny Indian ingredient called mustard seeds. The black mustard seeds, which I'm so madly in love with.
Yeah.
The first my change as a philosophical, food thinker, it all happened from mustard seeds. The emotional gastronomy, as I would connect our philosophy with food.
Mm-hmm.
The emotions of each and every ingredient is important and worthwhile to understand. After watching a mustard seed in a dish in England, when I was serving a dish, one English journalist asked me this question. That seed looks very special. It's so tiny. And that was the first time I started to think and look at it properly. Now, 25 years on, I have developed and I have found many stories of mustard seeds. Such a tiny seeds. When you are having one on your palm, when you put it on your palm, you can't even see it. It's that tiny. When you smell it, there's nothing in it. If you try to have a bite, it's bitter. It has a pungent flavor. But that seed, when you add to warm oil, when it blossoms, when it comes out of its shell,
Yeah.
the liberation that it achieves, it spreads not only in that surface of the pan, cooking pan, it flies out into the open.
Yeah.
The whole of that atmosphere is filled with that aroma.
Yeah.
And for me, that was the biggest realization in food philosophy. And that is when I understood the emotions that develop into that tiny seed,
Yeah.
which without knowing anything. It's like you have no clue about the journey of that seed. Finally, you enjoy it in the dish, the atmosphere.
And that's a bit like the journey
Yes.
that
This
you're
is
having.
exactly what all of us, and I believe I am like a seed. I have the power of this universe within me. I have the emotions of this universe in me.
And your faith has already taken you a long way into this dream.
I was very blessed and lucky for that.
Yeah.
But that realization is making me, to understand my responsibility, and, when you feel it effortlessly,
Yeah.
you suddenly realize the size of it, the world doesn't bother me.
Yeah. And so on a more sort of worldly level, do you think that there might be an opportunity for the government to become involved in this project?
Obviously, the governments are the biggest enhancer of
Social change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bigger change, because their decisions are followed vastly by people. Even though you have private enterprises, huge multinationals also have great support system for environment. A lot of support is available
Yeah.
all over the world. I haven't been approached by anyone, which I hope, the next level of this project, which is getting out of the corridors of Kerala and entering other states of India. My biggest dream is to develop this at least in 10 states of India, where we can bring together whole of each state's culture under one roof like this, so that for the future generation, whatever changes the community and the world, that institution will represent our heritage.
Yeah.
That should, and India should have at least 25.
And to me, it's completely the same. It could be in any country. It could be so many countries. The same.
Equally so. I believe that, and I really want to extend it globally, because if the support system comes forward, I would love to take it to every part of the world. One thing is that it's an imminent change that we have to trigger. Mm-hmm. Secondly, India has a big role for the world, and I believe India will play a kind of figurehead, and it could spearhead a change, so that the healing process has to happen. People have to be sane as much as we celebrate success and advancement. Without that, everything will be short-lived.
Yeah.
So, as we have seen, artificial intelligence is getting a lot of popularity now. The robotic science and all these alternative methods are becoming a support system, not support system. They are trying to replace
Yes.
a lot of manly,
Practical
human
aspects of life.
jobs are taken
Yes.
over by them. But I think there are things that we cannot change. There are things we cannot replace. You cannot replace a mother's love, unconditional passion for,
And really good food grown
unique food.
naturally
Yeah.
and in a clean environment.
Yeah. So a lot of these things cannot be replaced by any technology. That's why it's important that we should stand tall. As much as the technology is rising, we should also rise.
Yeah.
So I think RASA Gurukul will develop that foundation, and it will keep traveling so that it will follow our future children, so that we can give them that supporting system.
Yeah.
So in case they fall, we could keep them comfortable, and we could keep them untroubled by hurdles, which I'm sure we all faced. Even future generations will face more. But emotional support was something that kept us alive,
Yeah.
kept us moving, without any, setbacks. But here, the new world is lacking that, in my observation. That is what I think Rasa Gurukul can provide. And I hope United Nations or a lot of other social networks, governments of different countries should take similar initiative, keeping the culture alive as much as we embrace new things. So this is a very important step, and I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, well, it's a joy to be here, that is for sure. And hopefully more and more people will come and experience it.
I mean, your time here has been wonderful, and we're so excited that you like the whole project.
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting project. It's a huge project, and it's very ambitious.
Thank you.
But with faith, you've got this far. So.
Just like the mustard seed, we keep rolling with that strong faith within.
Yeah, and just one last question: how can you get this very big idea out to people?
No, the most important thing is, of course, today we want reasons, we want evidence.
Yeah.
Every logic has to have a kind of proper answer to the whole thing, convincing. So every idea, people have to be convinced.
Yeah.
So this is, as much as everything else, it's again a people's project.
Yeah.
And my plan is to develop it from grassroots level. We developed the farm first, we created the buildings. Now we have activities, all ideas got, action now, and we are involved in a lot of local people. We are working with local schools.
Yeah.
We are slowly getting, the communities take part in all our activities, and also the boundary keeps expanding so that we can avoid the boundaries.
Yes.
So we have people coming from all over the world now.
Yeah.
And just like you have come from England, many other people are coming, and I think also meeting so many like-minded people with similar but different ideas.
And I think there are so many people who want to help.
Yes.
Who want to get involved in projects that they can see are going to have some benefit and in which they believe. People don't know how to help, so they need to be offered the opportunity.
That's amazing, as part of my journey telling the story to people.
Because you've had a lot of people coming to see what you're doing and wanting to be involved, haven't you?
And
for not for financial benefit.
Correct, yeah. And also feeling that I had a very similar idea. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Many people come and tell me. So it's like you said, many people have similar ideas. They all want to help this world.
But they don't know how to do something.
Yeah. So,
so that's a great thing about coming here, is that somehow you begin to feel involved and you begin to see a way, if perhaps that is something that you're interested in, that you can get involved and you can help to change things.
Yeah. So it's like, if the idea is pure, unique, unconditional, the whole world can come to you.
Yeah.
So this is like the mother of ideas, especially all about goodness.
Yeah.
It's only about purity.
Yeah, and it's such a lovely place to come.
Thank you. So the whole world is coming, and I'm glad you also came.
Thank you.
Thank you
I am too.
this brilliant trip
Thank
with
you.
us.